Hello everybody, thank you for attending this presentation. I'm Jerome, I'm the founder of Skiply, and today I will show you how you can change the behavior of your Smilio button using downlinks to change the configuration. So for those who are not familiar with Smilio, let me introduce briefly the product. So it's a button system that you can use for many different use cases. Sometimes you will use it, there's a smiley buttons for customer experience measurement. Sometimes you will use it for time tracking on site, logistics, service requests. There are many things that you can do with Smilio buttons. And of course, to achieve that, you have two possibilities and two things that you have to do. Of course, there is hardware customization because smiley buttons is different from the logistics. So the form factor can be different. There are some treatments that we can use or not. Even if I think that today antibacterial treatment is mandatory, we can add UV treatment, scratch resistant treatment, and sometimes we will adapt the battery pack depending on the use case. But there is another thing that you should do if you want to change the use case with a Smilio. It's the software customization. Each use case use the same hardware, with exactly the same frames and the same rules. The only thing is that you will be able to change some parameters to adapt it. For instance, on the left, it's a use case where you have only 2 user interactions per day. So of course, you will send the frame each time that someone is pressing a button. And users, they have the possibility to press multiple buttons. It's not a problem. On the right side, if you use a smiley buttons, you can have up to 4,000 pushes per day. So that means that you cannot send a frame each time that you press the button. And of course, we try to avoid people that want to vote twice in a very short period of time. So you have only one choice per user, and then you will block the keyboard for a couple of seconds. So how does it work and how you can implement that into TTN? That's something that I'm going to show you. So here we have this button set on the normal mode. So on the normal mode, when I press the button, I have the LEDs here. So when I try to push other buttons, I'm using 10 seconds here. It doesn't work because I did make a vote. And then I will see soon the results. So I receive a payload beginning with 02, which means it's a normal frame. And then it's strange because we have 2 here and the 1 here, and I press only one button. In fact, each set of 4 digits represent a counter. So each button has its own counter. And each time that you press a button, you increment this counter. Here for the demo, of course, we send it immediately, but normally we use this counter, and every 10 minutes, 30 minutes, you can change that. We will send the state of the counter, and then the server will make the difference and calculate the increment. That means that you can have 10,000 presses per day. It doesn't matter, each 10 minutes, each 30 minutes, you will be able to have the state of the counter, so you will fully respect the duty cycle, even if you have a lot more interaction. So if I'm pressing again the button 2 here, I will probably have here 02 and 02 because I add 1 to the counter of the button 2. I hope so. 10 seconds is long for a demo, I'm sorry. Okay, here we are. So it's the case. And then we have 2 and 2. So all those parameters, you can set it here in the Smilio configurator. You have the address here, it's free and it's open to everybody. So for instance, here we have an immediate send, but we can set up to periodic send. Of course, we will change and send an uplink only if someone pressed the button. We will spare the battery this way. And then we'll check the interval, maybe 20 minutes, for instance. So every 20 minutes, the system will check if someone pressed a button. And if yes, it will send the new state of the counter. TPB is the maximum time between 2 pushes. So here I set to 10 seconds, but you can use 5, 3, it really depends of your use case. Now, we will change and we will switch to the code mode. So another use case, just A reminder is the use case on the left, and this code mode works very differently. So to switch to code mode, what we need to do first, is to set up here the code mode. I won't change any other parameter. I will do submit, and then I have a frame here that is a downlink frame that will be copy paste into TTL. Here we are on port 2, so don't send any downlink on Smilio on port 1, you can damage the device forever. Okay, and then we send this downlink. So you see that this downlink is scheduled. So that means that next time that we will press any button, the system will send the downlink, and then the configuration will change. So we'll wait a little bit. Here we are. So I pressed the third button, so the counter was incremented, but now it received a new configuration, and you can see here that the lights are flashing green and red. So each time that you change the configuration, the device will automatically reset, and it's to avoid any conflict with the previous configuration. It will send a state payload to explain that you received the correct configuration. And now we are ready to go with the code mode. So the code mode is very interesting because it offers a lot of different use cases. From what we know, it's not only one button. You can make a lot of combination. And for instance, you can imagine that if someone press the code 112, it will, I don't know, order soap on the site. So let's take this example. I will press 112, and you will see that the payload that you will receive is really different from the one that we had previously. So we should have it in 10 seconds because the user should have the time to send this request. So if you want to go into details regarding the payload, everything is in the user manual. But you can see our code here, 112 in the correct order. Okay, and so this is the first advantage of the code mode. It's not only saying, okay, the button 1 pressed and the button 2 was pressed. This is here in our case, we are able to see first we're able to understand that first the user press 1, then 2. If we use the previous mode, we will have 2 increments on the first button and 1 increment on the second button, so we won't have any order. So this is the first code, and if you want to do something different, for instance, imagine that 112 is a service request, and then the people that will complete the request are going on site. They can say, okay, I have the request 112 and I press my badge. And that means that it was done. And then I will receive a payload that is starting with 3. 3 means that the badge was pressed, and my new code 112. So there is always a backup of the last code. So you have the last code that was sent immediately, and then the code that was sent 1 minute before. So the first one was done with the badge, and the second one without the badge. So as you can see, it's a very short example, but you can totally change the behavior of the Smilio button system with a simple downlink. It's very easy to do, and it's important that each time that you have a new use case, you think about how you should configure your button to have the most adapted parameters for it. So thank you very much for attending this presentation. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and I will be very pleased to help you. Bye bye.